got a question for you. What is the perfect home? I'll give you a little hint. There is no such thing as a perfect home. It's a total fairy tale. Finding the right home, though, can be as simple as the 80-10-10 principle. What is that, you ask? We'll talk about that today on House Rules, Real Estate in Sin City. No home is perfect. We get that. You know, the closest you can probably get to perfect is if you go buy raw land, hire an architect, hire a general contractor, hire a designer, and build your dream home from start to finish. But guess what? Even if you do that, more than likely from the time you buy the land and the time you move in, you've changed some stuff, right? You've had an architect redo a drawing, you've changed color schemes, you've had a general contractor do a change order, okay? You have the luxury to do that when you're, the luxury as long as you have the budget for it, but you have the luxury to do that when you're building your own home. But like I said, your perfect home, there's no such thing. You've made changes. So when you're looking at resales, what do you do and how do you do it? I've kind of come up with a rule I like to call the 80-10-10 rule. It's the 80%, 10%, and 10%. So what does that mean? Well, the first thing it means is this. Look, if you love 80% of a home that you look at, that's a good start, right? It's not everything, but you love 80%. That's a B minus B, right? So if you love that, we're on the right track. Maybe that's the neighborhood you're in, or the home, or the fact it's got the number of bedrooms and baths you need, right? A lot of that stuff can go into the 80%. The second 10% is, this is 10% that you, with your budget, can change. Maybe that 10%, and everybody's got a different budget, but maybe that 10% you can change is, I love this house, but I hate the carpet. I want hardwood flooring here, or I want tile there. Is that in your budget? Is that doable? Absolutely, that's doable. And that's why I say budget's different for everybody. Maybe your 80% is, I love this house, but I need a pool, but I have the budget to put a pool in, right? That could be your part of your 10%. Can you change 10% of the overall house? So if you love 80% of it and you can change 10% of it, that's great. That leads us to the last 10%. As I said, nothing is perfect. There are things that you can live with. So here's an example. Say like you found your dream home. 80% hits, 10% you can change the color of the paint, you can change the cabinets and some countertops, right? There's your 10%. But pretend, for instance, that you were really, really hoping that the laundry room for the house was upstairs. This house just happens to have the laundry room downstairs, but everything else is great. Is that laundry room such an important part that it can affect the rest of the house? I can't answer that. Some people say I have to have it, right? And I get that. But if that's where I'm kind of talking about the extra 10%. If you wanted something but didn't necessarily need it, and you can live with it, there you go. So if the laundry room's downstairs but you were hoping for it upstairs, big deal. Maybe you really wanted a 3-car garage with 3 individual garage bays, but the house you found has 3 cars, but it's a double bay and in a tandem. Can that work for you? Is it what you really wanted, but can it work for you? That's where you think about that last 10%, okay? When I sit down and talk with my clients during our buyer consultation, because we usually like to have a sit down with our buyers before we just show them properties, that's one of the questions I ask them. I ask them, what do you need in a house and really need compared to what do you want? Because if you need a pool but do not have a budget to put your pool in yourself, guess what? We're gonna only look at homes with pools, okay? We're not gonna look at homes without pools, because as soon as we do that, you're not finding what you want. And a pool, we found out, was in your 80%. It had to happen. The other thing, like I said, garage. Say like you say, Jeff, I've got a classic car collection and I need to have this size garage. We're gonna look for a home with that size garage, because a lot of times here, especially with HOAs, you're not gonna really be able to budget or even build that extra garage bay if you really want to. So those are the types of things I say want and need. If you say, Jeff, I really, really want a house with quartz countertops because quartz is in and granite is out, that's great. I'm gonna make a mental note of that, but put that in the secondary 10%, right? That's I want it, and I can always make that change if I need to, because quartz is not that expensive, right? If we're looking at a house here, you could probably afford a few $1,000s for quartz countertops, okay? So that's why I talk about 80-10-10. So really, when it comes down to it, you need to find out what your needs versus what your wants are. Because wants, as long as the budget's in play, we can make something happen. It's what needs to happen. I need to be in Palo Verde School District. I need to live in Green Valley. All that stuff, let's not alter ourselves from there. Let's start from that and work our way through it. If we can hit the 80-10-10 rule, you found yourself a perfect home. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, we're always available to answer and talk to you about your 80-10-10 rule. And if you like this video, we would love if you subscribe to our channel. We deliver content like this every single week for all of our buyers and sellers out there. Click the link below and subscribe today. Thanks.